Cops get called about boy in Maggot covered home, but it gets worse. Alabama police were called to a trailer home in Columbia where a mother and her son lived. There was a reasonable amount of concern for what was going on behind those ramshackle walls, so they came prepared to search with a warrant in hand. Even with a fair warning, they didn't expect what they walked in on. Worse yet, with all the evidence spewed out in front of them, the mother responsible walked free with a fine less than most people's grocery bill. Wendy Lee Davis was hit with a little slap on the wrist after officers found her and her preteen son living in a sickening and deplorable drug den. Drug paraphernalia was carelessly left out, among dog feces in every crevice, dropped wherever the litter of 6-week-old puppies plotted, and maggots engulfing piles of rancid, rotting food everywhere the eye could see, the Death and Eagle reported. Records show police charged Davis with child endangerment for failing to provide a clean living environment for a child, which included having drug paraphernalia around the home, food covered with maggots and flies and animal feces inside the home. Despite this hellhole that the 33-year-old mother put her son in, she won't sit a day behind bars because the 1-year jail sentence was suspended and replaced with a measly 2 years of probation. She'll serve that time in her trailer house of horrors, along with her son who was sent back into harm's way because a judge somehow deemed that it was okay circumstances for him to live in. While the Alabama magistrate was at it, he also dismissed the charge of animal cruelty too. Attorney Clay Wadsworth said his client, 33-year-old Wendy Lee Davis, pleaded guilty to a single misdemeanor charge of endangering the welfare of a child in front of District Court Judge Benjamin Lewis. Wadsworth said his client received a 1-year sentence, which was suspended for 2 years of probation. Wadsworth said his client's misdemeanor animal cruelty charge was dismissed. Granted, the home was ordered to be cleaned up to get her kid back, which reportedly happened. But that's all to suffice an agreement, and it's only a matter of time before this sloth regresses back into her disgusting habits to the detriment of a kid who has no say in the matter. On top of getting her boy back and not getting jail time, Davis's fine was a week $250. I'd dare guess she spends more than that on drugs and groceries, the leftovers of which she lets the maggots feast on. Perhaps there would be far fewer instances of child neglect and abuse if the system would take these cases more seriously. This is not a scenario of an unkempt house or an exhausted mother working around the clock for her kid and unable to keep up with housework. This is abuse and a way of life for this degenerate, and chances are she's living off welfare to fund it all. Davis needs to be behind bars, stripped of her benefits if she's on them, and lose custody of her kid because he is the one who truly will pay in the end.